Welcome to another episode of Scottish Murders. I'm your host Dawn, and this week's episode is slightly different. I recently got a comment on YouTube on one of our previous episodes saying that it was hard work listening to me and that I should cut out the waffle and get to the point. Now, I don't normally bother with any negative comments. To be fair, I'm really bad at replying to any comments, positive or negative, which I am really sorry for. But on this occasion, I decided to do an experiment. And so for this episode, I have cut out the waffle and got straight to the point, reporting only the bare facts needed to tell you about this unresolved case. And I wondered what everyone would think about it, if you preferred this type of episode or my regular waffling episodes. For me, though, it's not waffling. It's me empathetically trying to tell the murder victim's story as well as I can, putting my heart into each and every episode, making it emotive and weaving the facts in with the victim's story. That's what's at the heart of Scottish Murders, and that is how I will continue to tell each episode going forward. And so if you prefer this succinct, cold, facts-only type of episode, which in all honesty to me feels like I'm just reading a Wikipedia page, then Scottish Murders just isn't for you. For those of you who prefer to know every detail that I found, the more heavily researched, emotive and respectful episodes, then don't worry. I'll also be releasing this episode's murder victim, James Craik's, full story over on our Patreon next week, which everyone who wants to will be able to listen to for free. So you don't miss this more detailed episode coming out, you can head over to our Patreon now at patreon.com/scottishmurders and you can sign up for free and you'll get notified when the episode is released there. In other news, before I get into this succinct, facts-only episode, I just wanted to let you know about the future of our Scotland Then episodes. Now, I love researching and writing these episodes. I love looking back in time and either remembering or being surprised by things that happened. However, I know it is a Scottish Murders podcast. So, going forward, I'm not going to be releasing any more of the Scotland Then episodes on the Scottish Murders feed, but I will still be releasing them because I don't want to stop doing them exclusively for our Patreon members from our Bra-Yin paid tier, which is only £2.50 or $3 a month. So if you've been enjoying them as much as I have, I really hope you sign up and continue to get your Scotland Then fix at patreon.com/scottishmurders. The link will also be in the show notes and on our website. Also, I just want to give a huge thank you to all of our existing Patreon members who've supported us over the years. You know who you are, and we hope you enjoy listening to the exclusive Scotland Then episodes going forward too. Thank you also to our newest Patreon members, Patricia and Misty. It's great to have you with us. And you couldn't have joined at a better time. And I hope you enjoy the exclusive Scotland Then episodes going forward too. And one final thank you. Well, that is until the end of the episode when there's another one. And that's to all of the free members that have joined our Patreon already. It's great that you've dipped your toe into the water, but it would be absolutely fantastic if you took advantage of the Scotland Then exclusive Patreon episodes going forward and upgraded to our Bra tier at only £2.50 or $3 a month. Regardless though, we appreciate everyone's support and thank you again so much for listening. Now, let's go on with this week's concise and facts-only episode. On the afternoon of Wednesday the 12th of March 1997, 49-year-old James Craik was found dead in his flat in George Street in Huntly, Aberdeenshire. The discovery was made by his neighbour and friend David McTavish. James's brother Alan was notified by police at his home in Brechin, and Alan identified James's body. James was described as a tall, stocky man with ginger hair and a moustache, who was well known in Huntly and was not prone to violence. James's family were said to have been stunned and devastated by the news of James's murder. Grampian police detectives began an investigation and quickly announced they were treating James's death as murder. Initial reports, mainly by James's brother Alan and his neighbour David McTavish, indicated that James had suffered severe head injuries, though his exact cause of death was withheld. Although police did reveal that no murder weapon was being sought. The investigation included a squad of 20 officers and detectives and was led by Detective Chief Inspector Sandy McMorran, and they began interviewing the residents of Huntly to find out if anyone had seen James Craik between the 9th and 12th of March to try and piece together his final movements. The police found out the following from their initial inquiries. That James Craik had last been seen alive on Tuesday the 11th of March at 10:20 p.m. in Duke Street in Huntly, where he was said to have been accompanied by a woman, who was described as being of medium height and build with short dark hair and was wearing dark clothes. This same woman was seen with James at 3 separate times that day, 10:20 p.m. in Duke Street near Church Street, and also at 3:35 p.m. on Nelson Street and 7:30 p.m. elsewhere in Huntly. Police reported that they believed the incident leading to James's death occurred within his flat, and they again appealed for anyone with information, especially about the woman seen with James on the day before his murder, to come forward. James Craik left behind 2 children, 16-year-old James Jr. and 13-year-old Julianne, who had been living with their mother Leslie near Brechin and were also said to be devastated. James's family and the police made repeated public appeals for information, and detectives and uniformed officers concentrated their efforts in Huntly town centre, where they repeatedly canvassed pubs and stopped passers-by in a bid to try and reconstruct James's final movements and jog the residents of Huntly's memories. However, despite extensive inquiries, which also included a reconstruction of James's final movements on the 11th of March 1997 and appeals for the mystery woman to come forward, the investigation stalled. The woman, however, was not traced, but police believed the key to the case lay locally, urging anyone with even minor information to contact them. James Craik's funeral was held on the 6th of May 1997 and was attended by family members from as far as Australia. James's wish to be cremated could not be fulfilled, though, due to the possibility of more tests needing to be conducted on his body if his murderer was not found. The family expressed hope that the killer would be found, but acknowledged the difficulty given the number of visitors to James's flat. Months passed and frustration grew, with James's brother Alan criticising the police for the lack of progress and feeling the case had been forgotten by police and the public. The family sought compensation for James Craik's children, but James's murderer being caught remained elusive. On the first anniversary of James's murder in March 1998, detectives returned to Huntly, where they distributed posters and conducted house-to-house inquiries. Following this, 2 local men were questioned as witnesses and were released. Police continued to appeal for the woman seen with James to come forward, but she remained unidentified. Finally, in June 1998, more than a year after the murder, a 34-year-old man from Huntly was charged with James's murder. He appeared in private before Aberdeenshire Court, made no plea or declaration, and was remanded in custody for further examination. However, he was released on bail while the investigation continued. By August 1999, it was revealed that this 34-year-old man would not face trial unless new evidence emerged, as the case had not been brought to court within the statutory 12-month period. In January 2002, James Craik's son, also named James, was found dead in suspicious circumstances in a flat in Forfar. Family members stated that James Jr. had never recovered from his father's unsolved murder. The body of recovering drug addict James Craik Jr. was found just 2 weeks after his 21st birthday. The murder of 49-year-old James Craik remains unsolved, despite extensive police work, public appeals, and a brief arrest. James Craik Sr.'s tragic murder was compounded by the later death of his young son, leaving his family searching for answers and justice. If you have any information about this case, authorities urge you to come forward. Well, that is the basics and facts of this case, but in my opinion, there is still so much missing. So much I'd want to know if I was listening to this podcast. So much about the victim, the Huntly community, James's family, the investigation, the arrest, James's son's own fate. So much human emotion is still missing from this episode. But I'll let you decide after listening to my normal style of episode about this case on our Patreon, which will be available for free next week. So go and sign up for free now so you get notified when it's available at patreon.com/Scottish Murders and let me know which episode you prefer. Now I've one more final shout out and thank you to give before the end of this episode. And that is to Alison, who sent me an email, a pity email you might say, after I mentioned that no one had gotten in touch regarding the word challenge I set in a previous Scotland Then episode. Well, Alison, I can't thank you enough for getting in touch and for taking so much time out of your days to blow my 10-minute word challenge right out of the water. If you'll remember, I said that in 10 minutes I managed to write down 87 words beginning with A. But let's hear Alison's results of the word challenge. Hours and hours Alison spent on this. Well over 4 hours, I would say. And our final total came to, drumroll please, 1,740. That was epic, Alison, an amazing total. You definitely have upheld your wordy title. Thanks again so much for spending so much time on my challenge. I appreciate you so much. That's almost the end of the episode, but don't forget to sign up as one of our free Patreon members so you don't miss the free, fuller version of this case, which will be available next week, or join our Bra tier at patreon.com/Scottish Murders to hear the Scotland Then episodes going forward, starting with our next Scotland Then episode from March 1997, which will also be released next week on our Patreon. Scottish Murders will be back in 2 weeks for the promised case about 2 murders in 1984 and 1985 in Ayrshire. So until then, I've been your host, Dawn.
Scottish Murders is a production of Clurin Ton.